Hello guys, welcome back to the show. I am Francesco Pavone, your host, and today we are recording from a different location. I am in Anzio with Velio, who is a member of the Thai T-shirt transformation and is also a personal friend of mine. And we're here because we are shooting a photo shoot. We both did a fat loss phase and we just finished a peak week. So we're going to talk about that. And Velio is going to tell us a little bit more about him, who he is, what he does, what were his goals, and a little bit more about his transformation. So, long further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so we are here with Velio. Hi, Velio. Thanks so much for doing this with me. I really appreciate your time. And do you want to tell us a little bit more about you? What's your job? What do you do? Where do you live? What's your level of experience in fitness and training?
Hi, Francesco. Hi, everyone. Yeah, my name is Velio. I'm 37 and I work as a finance manager in a multinational company based in Italy with a presence in more than 60 countries, and I'm also a performance coach. So I'm really passionate about whatever makes us as human, growing, perform at our best, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And this is why we are here, because I had this great experience to joining your coaching program, and I believe we are talking about that now. Right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm really interesting because we got to know each other in London the first time, and you were 2019, and you were already working on a fat loss goal. So,
Correct.
could you tell us a little bit more about your goal at that time versus your goal this year?
Correct. Yeah, in 19, I've been in London for a business trip for 3-4 months, and I wanted to take that opportunity also to work on my body, because as office worker we tend to gain fat very fast, because you are working your day in the office. Maybe in a busy season work you don't have time to do gym, so it's really pretty easy to gain some pounds, right? So in 19 I was like 10 kilos, 15 kilos overweight, and I wanted to lose that kilo. So in my mind, even if I had the experience at the time on weightlifting, I thought cardio would be the best solution for me to lose kilo. So this is why in London, Virgin Tower Bridge, where I met you, I started to do every day before going in the office 7 a.m. my cardio routine, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and sweating like pigs.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you on the treadmill wearing a fitness tracker device to measure your heart rate.
Yes.
I remember your clothes, like you had a yellow T-shirt, and you were sweating a lot. I remember our first interaction, and you were interested to know how to lose fat in the best way, in the most efficient way. So could you guide us a little bit more about what was your main goal when we first had that chat? What did you want to do, really?
Yeah, at that time I want to lose that 10 kilos, and I believe that the only best vehicle was the cardio. So running on a treadmill, um, no eating before breakfast, and that's it. I believe that so much that before working on the weightlifter with you, it took at least I would say almost a month before changing the idea.
Yes.
And deciding to try a weightlifting program with you.
Yeah, I find that very interesting because we are all convinced that we have like a strategy or like something we're attached to, and sometimes it's easy to it's easy to kind of keep going with that strategy, and it's difficult to let go of that certainty kind of.
Yes.
So can you tell me like what helped you to overcome that like that fear of oh my god, if I stop doing cardio, like will I keep losing weight? Will I keep losing weight in the best way?
Yeah, I was so scared about that, meaning as far as I am as a person, I tend to choose the best vehicle to have the most result. So I was so attached to that belief that cardio is the best tool to lose fat, right? So it was quite impossible that someone convinced myself against that belief. What happened with you is that, as I know in the coaching, performance coaching world, when you share the same values with people, you tend to, create trust with them. And when I saw you working at the gym, at the Virgin Tower Hill, with people, I really felt a kind of resonance with you for the kind of person you are, even before the personal training concept, because the way you were looking to the people, the way you were connected to them, I felt a genuine guy really working at his best and staring at people literally without even blinking an eye to make sure that the client was performing at its best. So as far as I saw this huge level of accountability, commitment, effort, I felt inspired. And that was the gate opener, in my opinion, to start to dismount, so to say, my belief.
Awesome. I really appreciate that, man. I always enjoyed our session together. And to give a little bit of context, basically me and Velio worked together at Tower Bridge in London for a period of 3 months, 12 weeks. And then Velio continued his own training and nutrition on his own. And then we started working together again this year. So I'd love to know, like, during these 2 years, like, what did you learn from me specifically? Like, then I'd love to talk about your results, but I'd love to know as well.
Yeah, I think what has to be said is that one day you told me, we introduced each other, and you told me, what's your goal? And I told you, I want to lose 10 kilos. All right, what are you doing to lose 10 kilos? I'm doing cardio every day. And you didn't push myself against this belief. And I felt accepted. And you, in a way, tried to understand this belief. And you told me, you know what, you know that even for fat loss, you can do weightlifting. And it could be a great tool for you. So I felt not imposed. I felt like, why not giving a try? And so this is why I told you, okay, let's do a program with you until I will be here in London. So by the end of July, let's lose this 10 kilo together with a weightlifting program.
Yeah.
And it was amazing because actually I learned a lot about this tool, weightlifting. And as you know, I'm really passionate about mindfulness, which is the ability to really feel the present moment with your mind. And you let me show that in a different angle. When you talk about mind-body connection, mind-muscle connection during an exercise, to me what's really fascinating, because it was like not just weightlifting for the sake of losing fat, but for the sake of doing a meditation routine in between.
Yeah, I really love that you touch on that, because like many people have a lot of misconception about training, and sometimes just mentioning something like mind-muscle connection scares people off because kind of share the feeling that it's all about bodybuilding in the sense of Mr. Olympia bodybuilding, whether there's much more around that. So yeah, and I see a lot of similarities with like being present in the training session, not focused on what's coming after that, but what are you experiencing. So really likes that. Okay, cool. So do you want to talk a little bit more about your results? I know that during those first 3 months you lost actually those 10 kilos. I remember that celebration. And then can you get us a little bit on what happened after that?
Before that, let me say that to lose 10 kilos, I learned from you the math behind the what is called the calorie counting, and how much is really crucial. I know that, of course, to lose fat, I should have been in a deficit, right? But how much is it a deficit? And you helped me in understanding this question. What is the science behind the deficit. And you told me, start track and measuring what you're eating and be in a deficit, 20% more or less, 15, 20, let's start off with that. In deficit, there are specific macro threshold to be met each and every day. And to me, as a finance manager, working every day with Excel files was fascinating, because it is like having an Excel file every day open. You have to hit your macros. For me, it's working. It's something like it motivates me because I'm measuring myself. So this is why the goal has been achieved so easily, fast, I would say, scientifically, meaning I was losing, if I remember well, in the moment when we started to track the macro every day, I started to lose 100 grams every day.
Yeah.
In 30 days, it's 10 kilos.
Yeah.
So in July 9, if I remember, 19, I was 83 from 93, 94. And with a 13.5, more or less, body fat mass index, looked really ripped. I loved the way I looked at the mirror. I felt like not just a matter of self-confidence, but really a different level of pride in myself. For people at work told me that I was not just, of course, thin or in a best shape, but more even performing at work.
Awesome. So you were also like, you noticed that you were more focused, and other people noticed that too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really interesting. And for the people who are listening, who are motivated by early success, I think this is very inspiring, because like 100 grams a day might seem like a little bit, might seem like too little, might seem like too fast for some people. But overall, if you compound that over 90 days, that's 9 kilos. That's
Really?
not too bad.
Yes.
And
Yes.
okay, that's fantastic. And what happened after that? So you lost those 10 kilos. I remember
Yes.
you went on holiday, took some pictures, and then we
I
are
celebrated a lot. Of
yes,
course.
you deserved it.
Yes.
And then from September to so we're talking about October 2019.
Yes. Then
What happened after?
after that, I simply maintained the weight. So, by the way, that was another very important result I got from your program, because I used to gain and lose kilos very quickly in a year, plus 10, minus 10, plus 10, minus 10. And maintaining it was possible because I was tracking. So tracking, even if you are not super stick to a program, but if you track weekly, it's super good as well.
Yeah.
So this is why I maintained the kilos. Then I was scared because, okay, what happened next? I was thinking about your online program, and I said, could that work like an in-person program, really? Is that the same? And then I decided to give it a try, because of course, when you start to say to yourself such question, you enter in a position to, have too many excuses. I wanted so much to create new habits for myself, to learn so much, to improve my competence in this field, because I really felt I need to ingrain even more this level of competence when it comes to food, health, and fitness, that I said, okay, let's do this online program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would just touch on what you just talked about in terms of calorie counting, because I think like many people associate calorie counting with like a negative thing. Oh my God, I'm gonna start tracking, my life is over. But I think like many people, they don't look at how they are, because you are a high performer, you are busy, you have like high expectation, you set the bar high for yourself. You do something and you're here for the best outcome. So I think like, many people would find this very helpful, because actually it sounds like being able to don't fluctuate that much with the weight brought you a lot of freedom in your life and a lot of calm and balance. Would you say that that's accurate?
Yes, let me say that I would say to the people listening to us, do not confuse the discomfort you feel when you track and measure things for the first time for the fact that you don't need that, you don't like that, it will not pay you off. Discomfort at first, it will be a lot, but simply because it's a new competence that you have to master.
Yeah.
So repetition is power, as you probably can recognize in many areas of your life. When you it was difficult to have a repetition for something, and now it's unconscious. The first day you drive a car, how difficult is it to use the pedal on the clutch, on the accelerator, my hand, and you risk to have an injury, whatever. And now it's automatically, right? So that kind of discomfort is physiologically to a competence that is starting to be mastered, right? So of course, for me, it was super difficult, track and measure, took my diary. I was like, okay, today I have to measure, and I will measure, of course. But as soon as the weeks went on, I really felt that sensation of it is unconscious. At the point in which, after I would say, let's say 3 months, couple of months, in a couple of months you can really notice the difference. But let's say 3 months. In 3 months, you simply look at the food, and you already have a really accurate feeling or determination of how much calories it is.
Yes. You increase a lot your food awareness. Yeah.
Yes, that's really food awareness. I love this word.
Yeah.
And it's super helpful because if you don't want to fluctuate anymore in your life, especially if you love food, that's a key competence to be mastered. Because doing a program, losing fat could be, easy and be done in a time frame period. But what is assuring you that you will not gain any more those kilos?
Yes, I love the fact that you touch on that. Just really, I think there is so much to talk about that. Of course, we're not gonna get into that in this podcast, but some people, they just log numbers into MyFitnessPal. So they scan, they see numbers, and sometimes this kind of way of focusing just on the software, just on the numbers, and not what's going on in your body, it's a big mistake that people do. Like so many people, they log in calories and calories and calories, and then they struggle to see the results. And then they stop for a moment and they really observe what's going on. And they maybe find out that they're trying to lose weight, but there is always like a pre-bed meal that is not needed. They don't feel hungry in that moment. And since they're trying to lose weight, they put MyFitnessPal first and say, oh, look at the numbers. I must be on a deficit because of my calculations. But hey, if the weight is not going down, chances are you're not in a deficit. So I really appreciate that you sharing this lesson with us. And I'm curious, like I'm here sitting in front of you, like you look amazing. You look like a Greek god. So I know that we did something right? And something. And I just wonder, what would your life be if you didn't take action? If that day when and we had the moment this morning when we talk about the calling, you could have just moved on, right, with your system at that time 2 years ago. So if you didn't come to me and ask me for support and guidance, what would your life be today?
What a great question to be applied in any field in life. What I know from psychology and performance coaching is that when you have clear values, so growth, health, and fitness, and so being great, and you don't act upon those values, then you are not congruent with yourself, right? You are your trader, your self-trader. And you are not happy because of that, because what you preach is not what you're doing. So acknowledging that is the first very important thing to do in life. So
did you do it at the time? Sorry if I interrupt you. Were you already clear about your values and if they were aligned with your actions?
Absolutely. So for me, it was clear that I wanted to be at the best shape of my life. I wanted to grow. It is always my value to personal development, grow, learn, understand, challenge myself. And I was 90 kilos, so overweight. I was like, okay, I'm betraying myself. I'm not acting upon my values. And indeed, I feel stuck in life. Even if at work I feel, okay, great, I'm happy, but I'm not happy in my external life aside from work. Why? Because there must be something upon which I'm not acting in alignment to my values. And it's fitness, it's body, And so this is also would have ramification in other fields in life, because when you are congruent with your values in one field, you tend to influence also other fields, for example, relationship. And by the way, when I start to act in our program, becoming congruent, also the relationship with my wife improved.
I was gonna say, like, at the time you already had a gorgeous wife, a well-paid job, you had success, like in your career, and it's not that you look like extremely overweight or you were like, binging on chips every day. But yeah, you missed that part. There was like that area of life where you were not as successful as you wanted or as you thought you should have been. So, really curious about what's your life like? Your life, like right now, like. Can we talk a little bit more about some tangible results? Because like the people listening then don't see you, they probably will check your transformation, which I'll put in the show notes. Probably not as when this podcast is recorded, because we are going to take the pictures that we will shoot in about an hour and a half. So can you just tell the listeners about your transformation? What's your life? What's Velio's life right now?
Right now, I feel more focused, in charge, confident, and I improved even more the level of body composition. So this is where I am working nowadays to learn from me. What happened to yourself when you are within the body fat range from 10 to 15? According to science, it is the best window of body composition. Indeed, my challenge is going to the one and only, as they say, 10% of body fat. And now I'm 12.5%. I feel really great, and I'm improving always and more. And it was, I gained muscle mass during this year. And also I continue to lose fat mass. It was amazing.
That's awesome, and it was really a pleasant discovery to find out that you are actually good. Like, you don't have any sleep disruption, you don't have mood swings, you don't feel lethargic. You're actually super energetic. Performance went down, but just in the last few weeks. And so, like, there are all the signals to say confidently that we are ready to continue this fat loss. Wow, Velio, thank you so much for all this, like sharing all this with us. I just have one question, because you've been extremely successful in this journey, and I'd love to know, like, if you could meet someone who is thinking about working with me personally in the tight t-shirt transformation, and with me or with our coaches, what would you say to someone who is thinking about doing such thing?
I would say if you love to challenge yourself, if you love to know yourself, to perform at your best, to be at your best shape, if you want to understand the body, understand how this beautiful machinery is working, and you want to do it with a science-based approach, if you love science, if you love data, if you want to answer the question, what has to happen to max my results, with a person that really cares about you, Francesco Pavone is the guy.
Thank you so much, Velio. I really appreciate your sharing your journey and your praise. It's a pleasure to work with you. To be fair, I think if I can give you a feedback, you've been extremely honest. I wouldn't say like extremely precise or consistent, because these are things that were kind of a consequence. You were honest. You were honest with with your doubts, with what were your concerns, with the things that you think you did well, and that helped me to help you even more, and that helped you to ask the right questions. So the growth mindset you mentioned earlier, something that I mentioned a few times in this podcast, and I really believe it's a necessary skill to nurture, not to have now, like you can build it, and we know that is a concept that is dynamic. So if I can add that something, it's also I'm grateful that you share this microphone using a AKG to record this show. AKG microphone. I'm really happy about the quality. It's sharp, and you guys, if you hear a little bit of noise in the background, that's our beautiful Mediterranean Sea. We are just close to the beach recording this show with an amazing view. And Velio, is there anything else you would like to add, or if you don't have anything else to add, is there a podcast that you listen to regularly, not necessarily like related to fitness, that you would like to share with our listener?
First of all, let me say I'm really happy and grateful to have you here. Let me say I want to really clarify and add a point. When I said before that you really care about people, is really the reason why I choose you. To me, it's really important. You know, guys, when you feel like a person is faking, is a great person in communicating, but you feel he's faking. And you feel the person that is great at communicating, you look at a particular light in the eyes, and you know he really loves to do what he's doing. He really loves people. Francesco, you are this kind of person. So this is why I'm not trying to push too much you. I'm really saying, guys, call Francesco. You will see absolutely how much he cares about his work. He's not doing because he has to do it. He has to do it. You love to do it. It's really important because it's inspiring people happiness, this approach, in whatever job they're doing, by the way.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And the podcast, I would suggest to other people. One very important to me is the Tim Ferriss podcast, because it's so he discuss about so many concepts. And by the way, bottom line is always there, the personal development concept.
Yes.
So Tim Ferriss is a great podcast. And Tony Robbins as well is, of course, the master coach ever in the world.
Yeah, you were able to work with the son of Tony Robbins, if I'm not wrong. Yeah,
absolutely. I have been lucky to join his performance coaching university program. So I've been graduated with Jared Robbins. He's a great guy, super knowledgeable. So happy to have been with him learning coaching.
Can I ask you just on that? I think
Sure.
like the people, and then we are before we wrapped up. Like, what's one thing you learned specifically from that course, from the Academy of?
I learned that
Robbins.
coaching it's a combination between. I came from a mindfulness counseling background. If you guys are familiar with it, is whatever is a field of psychology which really connected to human behavior and how to be, empathic. Genuine with people, and in certain coaching field or courses, there is this battle, meaning certain coaching programs are too pushy, are too directive. So it's not really a good, as according to science, way to do coaching. Genuine coaching, as in the Tony Robbins world, especially Jared Robbins University, I learned that kind of coaching is the so-called non-directive coaching. Meaning the art of asking a powerful question to let the other person, find within himself the answer without judging that answer. It's really difficult to do coaching that way.
Yeah.
And of course, it is something really important to do.
Thank you so much. I am sure that there are many coaches or trainers or fitness professionals who are listening to this show and would find this advice very, very helpful. But hey, Velio, thank you so much again. We are ready for our photo shoot, so we're gonna get our next meal, which is
Awesome.
Do you know what it is?
It's chicken breast.
How much?
It's 200 grams.
Yeah.
Is pasta fusilli de cecco, I think
80 grams.
80 grams. Olive oil, 6 grams.
7 grams.
And that's it.
And that's it. So we're gonna get a nice walk towards the photo shoot location, and we're gonna get as well a teaspoon of salt pre-pump. Then we have our elastic band. Going to warm up, increase the blood flow to the muscle, and get ready to enjoy the day. So thank you so much, guys, for listening. Thank you, Velio. Good luck for your photo shoot.
Thanks to you. Thanks, everyone.
And guys, if you want to know more about Velio's transformation, please check the show notes. I will add the content to the show notes. So yeah, probably the listener who will listen to this episode in a few weeks' time will be able to dig a little bit deeper into Velio's story. And if you guys want to jump on a call with me, please go on Facebook to the Lean Muscle Warriors Facebook group. You can join the group, and then from there I will get in touch, and we will book a call. So that's a free call. That's called the Transformation Strategy Call. And in that call, we'll get to know each other. So we'll understand more about your goals, your past, and your current situation, so we can understand if we would be a good fit. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So thank you so much, guys, for listening. And from Coach Francesco and Velio, that's everything. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.